Got your megabucks ticket for today? No, I was playing Powerball, that was it. But I was only buying that on Saturdays, and I only went high. I buy Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I'm not lucky. I'm not either. Not at all. I just do it to say I bought a ticket and I didn't win. It's done.
Okay, our recording is on. We'll call to order this meeting of the Board of Selectmen, regular meeting on July 25th, 2023, 6:00 p.m. Roll call. To my right is Richard Matters, Selectman. To my left, Todd Babbitt, Selectman. I'm Dana Bennett, First Selectman. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, number 3, approval of minutes from July 11, 2023, regular meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the July 11th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. In correspondence, you have the updated letter from Municipal Financial Assistance. I spoke with Eric this afternoon, and he has some of the documents he's working on, kind of reconciling the documents from the school with the town right now. So I'm not sure that it will be in this week, and we will file another letter with them to let them know we're kind of waiting on school updates to be posted. Any questions about any of the other documents? Okay, number 5, old business. Discussion and possible action on the request by Mr. Held to accept the extension of Albemarle Drive. I spoke with Mr. Held this afternoon on the phone and sent him some of the information about the documents that he would need to provide to us. If he provides those to us, then we forward those to planning and zoning, and then would create a town committee, or I'm sorry, a town meeting. Did you have a chance to get any of those documents yet?
Yeah, I looked at them, and so I don't agree with a lot of them, but I'll tell you where I'm coming from. Probably 3 years ago, I secured this agreement with Ocean State Job Lot where I could
Right,
build the road.
we have that.
Okay, now I met with then First Selectman Todd Babbitt and Highway Superintendent and Mario Christine here on site, and we looked and we worked out between us what would have to be done to have the road in acceptable condition. And that included repaving, I guess the 90 feet of it, and then adding the 10-foot extension onto that. And so now I've spent probably, $18,000 in materials and probably, I don't know, $5,000 in labor. And to meet all those requirements that you listed, that's gonna cost me, thousands and thousands of dollars to have an engineer and draw all the plans up and get permits. And so what I plan to do is I'm gonna have to hire an attorney and let him tell me what I should do. Because I'm not a legal, I can't legally go through those regulations and just figure out which ones apply to me, so.
Okay,
It's just not gonna work for me.
okay, well, I've sent you, I think, that most pertinent ordinances, most of them are online. The only thing that's not completely online is the procedures for accepting the roads.
Yeah.
So if you want a full document of that,
No,
I'm happy to
that's,
send those to you.
that's-
Okay,
But the one thing I don't agree with is, you said it's I think one of them was, it's a new subdivision or it's not a part of an existing subdivision or something. It is part of the subdivision, or it was constructed. And then that blueprint that Todd Babbitt had was, actually, it's an as-built. Because I mean, that project was done in the late 80s. That print is done in 1994.
right, we have
So
that.
that's an as-built, and it shows the road as-built. Going right up to my property, it shows it with my property line, it shows where the road was paved to. So that's an as-built.
Right, but I think that the part that's missing on that document is that it states it goes up to the line where your road then started being built, and I don't know if that portion of it was approved.
No, as far as, I don't know if that was approved or not. That's where I dropped the ball probably 20 years ago, because it was 25 years ago. It was supposed to be constructed as part of a partial payment for some land I sold to the developers. And so they built the road. I say, okay, that's good. They did what they had to do. So then probably 6 years ago or something, job lot was dumping construction debris that blocked the road, so I couldn't access my property. And I called them up and said, what's going on? And they said, well, you don't own that property, and the town doesn't own it. It's not a road. So then I just started, I looked at it with an attorney then, and he said, oh, take the path of least resistance, just call Ocean State Job Lot and see if you can work out something with them. And that's what I did. And so that's where I am now. I had something with Ocean State Job Lot that they would turn the land over to the town for a road if the town agrees to accept it. So that's where I'm at, $20,000 later, and apparently the town's not gonna accept it, so.
Well, let us know where you are after you talk to your attorney, and then we can put it back on the agenda when we.
I'll let the
Yeah,
attorney
some-
handle it.
okay.
I don't know if he's gonna go after you or Job Lot or who he's gonna go after. I don't know. Maybe nobody. Maybe it's gonna be dead issues.
I think that we just need those documents to send to planning and zoning for them to look at that. So that
that's
was
the-
on page 3 of the document
Yeah,
that I
that's
sent, I
the
think.
print. So the big print there, that's an as-built.
Right,
And that was signed by the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission back in '94. So it's been through planning and zoning.
but not that portion of the addition has not been through planning and zoning.
It's all been through because it shows it on that print. It shows where the pavement ends and shows my property line. And it shows the road being complete up to the end of the pavement, which is like 10 feet from my property line. So, I mean,
Yeah, I think we need to make a decision on the end of the road. So if you would give us those documents, then we'd be able to take them to P and Z. Well, this map, we need the map, right, and I think we've got that agreement with Ocean State. I think the other thing was on that page 3 that I gave you. I think there was one other item that we needed from you, and that was it. And then we can send that on to P and Z and then move forward with it.
yeah, but I don't see why planning and zoning gets involved again.
Because I think you've added to the road.
Well, I didn't add to I just added pavement. I didn't add anything to the actual, It's drawn on that print that the last 10 feet not being paved, but it doesn't. The rest of that print shows possible future town roads. And this part up to my property line is not shown as future. It's shown as done.
Well, I will send the map to our attorney too and have him look at that and see if there's a different opinion on him. I think that we need to go through the procedures that we have, but I'll check with our attorney too, and then I can get back to you in the next week or so and let you know.
What are you checking with?
With our town attorney,
Oh, okay.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay, we can do that.
Can you forward me a list of what you requested from him?
Yeah, it's in your packet from last time,
Oh, the last one, okay.
from the
I
last
thought there
meeting.
was something new there.
Nope, it's in your packet from last meeting. Okay, new business, discussion and possible action on 8 tax refunds for a total of $777.12 as presented by Leona Starkey, tax collector.
I'll make a motion to approve refunds for a total of $777.12 as presented by Tony Sharkey, tax collector.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can we make a motion to move B, discussion of possible action on resolution regarding receipt of small cities development block grant for McCluggage Manor? To the end of new business, we're waiting for Peter Testa to come back.
I'll make a motion to move 6B to after 6D on the agenda.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So now we're on C, discussion of possible action on reports by selectmen on capital improvement, ordinance and ERTD. Capital improvement has not met since our last meeting, right? No. ERTD, do you have anything new that has happened?
We had election of officers in June, so we have a new chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary. They took over July 1st. And right now they're working on the agreement with the administrative partner, which is Mr. Chamber. To finalize that agreement for them to be paid to run most of the programming.
Okay. And ordinance, I think probably by our next meeting, we should have at the STR ordinance brought to you so that that is ready to go to town meeting. That alarm ordinance needed to go to town meeting again. And I think that that was the only, did we have a third ordinance that you remember, Dave?
We did, but I don't remember what it
Okay.
was now.
So we're moving forward on that. We'll have the documents to everybody by the next meeting. Okay. Discussion and possible action on FEMA floodplain. Mario did send information. I just wanted to send you our response from Diane Ifkovit. It went through planning and zoning and it's been received by her. It has not been approved by FEMA due to the flooding issues in Vermont. So, but they have it. They have all the documentation that they need. So I just wanted to update you on that. Any questions? You okay? Okay. So we'll go back to B, discussion of possible action on resolution regarding receipt of small cities development block grant from McCluggage Manor. I gave you all sorts of information. Do you want to discuss any of this, Peter, with us, or just here for questions? Anybody have questions?
I got some, but
Okay.
I don't want to put you on the spot either.
No.
So reading through the multiple pages. It states in there the municipality is to requisition for funds. Is that something that you're gonna hire somebody to oversee this project and do, or is it gonna all be?
No, well, I'm the person that, my firm is gonna oversee the project.
Okay, so you're gonna be doing that part of
I'll
it?
be generating the requisitions through the engineer, initiate the contractor, submit for payments, anything that's being requisitioned for the grant will be, directed, if you will, through my office with requisitions and the directives of what's being paid, why it's being paid, any supporting documentation.
It also says in there, the municipality is gonna establish a bank account. Is that gonna be the town or is that gonna be the housing authority?
No, the municipality is the grantee.
Yep.
The housing authority is the sub-grantee,
Right.
the sub-recipient, so it's a pass-through account
Okay,
from the state down to the municipality, and then it's the municipality actually pays the contractor, not the housing authority.
okay,
Getting further down into like the sub-recipient agreement.
yeah, so you'll give the approval for the payment and then the town will pay.
Exactly.
Okay. There was also a section in there, or I had a question on interest earned, and that goes down to the agreement, let me see here, program income reuse plan on file.
Yeah.
So is that if you have interest that you could roll that back into the project or no?
No. Program income is any money that comes back through to the municipality through sale or refinance Generally, it's your housing rehabilitation program, single family, 1 to 4 family housing rehab programs. You need a new roof. The town lends you $15,000 to fix your roof. 5 years later, you sell the house, the money comes back to the town. That's a revolving loan account. Okay, that's your program income. This money here that's going to the housing authority is an outright grant, so it's never gonna get paid back, and there's no program income generated. So the need for a program income reuse plan doesn't exist. But that's standard language that they have in their
it talks about
contracts.
audits in there at the municipality's cost. Is that built into the project to accommodate the audits?
Yeah, I mean, when any audits are gonna be BOH generated, you know, as far as financial, and they'll do a construction monitoring of site visits, you know, and I don't know who knows down the road, you know, well, how they're gonna do this with things being so virtual or, you know, remote.
Yeah.
A lot of the old monitorings, they used to be a day and a half or 2 days, you know, where DOH would come down and invade your conference room
Yeah.
and set up for 2 days to check everything, every piece of paper you had. Now, a lot of that's being done electronically. And
Okay,
as the projects progress, so send me the stuff when you need it, and it's already checked off the list. So by the time you get to the end of it, you're not looking for the first piece of paper.
Yep.
You know, that we.
yeah, so periodically they'll do it to keep up to date.
Well, every 6 months, there's a semi-annual report that goes in. Every month, there's a monthly report that goes up to BOH, which just talks about the progress of the project. And I say project, meaning of the program, meaning the 2022 funds, not the improvements within the housing authority. That's the project within the program.
Okay.
If you get, you know, the separation between the two.
And the only other one, there was an agreement package there between the town and the housing authority as a subrecipient. And when you go to section XV, the signature names are not.
I thank you, guys. I apologize for the miscue.
We
It's all
fixed that at 5. We were working on it at 5, so we got it
I
going.
I emailed Dana a fresh
Yeah.
copy and Paul, because I had the errors on both ends. It was a little bit of cut and paste that didn't get flushed all the way through.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Just on that subject of, we did go over some of the dates, and there were some 2022 dates as well as there are some 2020 dates. The May 22nd, 2020 date was the date that the application was originally submitted to DOH. The other date in there are some of the start dates and some of the award dates and so on and so forth. And then the program year is SC 22, even though it was submitted, because getting funded. That's just the way it is. But
Okay, thank you.
So I have an advantage. I had all my questions asked. Do you have any questions? Okay. Paul or Don, do you have anything to add?
It'll be actually a double check on this. Peter will grab all the bills and okay them and send them to myself and Paul, and we will okay the bill that work was done also. So you'll have a double signature when the town actually receives the bill to pay.
And actually, to that point down will be triple, because the architect will sign off first and foremost.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then myself, and then the housing authority, then ultimately come to you.
Right.
The drawdown start off to be about 3 pages. You know, we're talking about requisitioning money.
Yep.
So basically, once everything is signed and sealed and delivered, the town doesn't get a check for $2 million. You got like a line of credit. You have that account, you set up an ACH account in which the money is electronically transferred. Typically, you know, you get notification a day before, to, you know, give them a heads up that the money's coming in. I asked that, you know, once we set up the project expenditure account, that you give a test run type of thing to make sure that if you had an old one, I've had towns get money from DOH, they went into a DOT account. Because it was, you know, still the same comptroller office that's sending the money out.
Yep.
And they see Tom and Griswold, it goes into that one, not knowing that there's a new one that's supposed to go to, so, you know, the money's sitting in a different account, so. That's something we just need to be conscientious of when we draw for a draw.
Don't they do that penny test now?
You know, I don't know, Don, if they still do, if it's wise to do, but I've had it happen where it ends up in the, you know, the town's other ACH account. Whether through, you know, stupidity or whatever, but. So, yeah, so the money, as it's being requisitioned and being driven by the contractor's progress on the project, okay, is going to submit draws that are allowed monthly. Okay, and again, the approvals by, you know, the architect first, myself and the housing authority, and then ultimately to you. There'll be photos attached with the field reports, the meeting minutes. You know, like I say, a 3-page drawdown turns into a 33-page document by the time we're through getting all the backup and, and sending it off to DOA, so. But everything will be earmarked where, tab where it needs to be signed
Great,
by you.
right,
Okay, there is some interaction that I'll need to have with the finance department, because one of the aspects on the drawdown is when the money come in and when the money go out.
mhm,
Okay, that's on every drawdown, so after the first drawdown, it'll come in, because there's a 15-day test. Okay, a 15-day limit, not test, but there's a 15-day limit that from the time the money is received to the time the money is dispersed, municipality has 15 days. Okay, some towns pay in upfront and and then reimbursed. I don't know that that's in your budget. But in any event, but otherwise it's a reimbursement. So, and again, everything that comes, you will have direction, if you will, and a requisition that, over each one.
It used to be a 3-day rule. You got the money, you have to
Wow.
spend it within 3 days.
Yeah.
that's tough, okay,
So, no, that's changed, to another 15, so it's a little more leeway.
okay,
But you will have all the bills approved by the time the money's wired to the state, you will have all the bills for that money already in your hands.
Right, they're gonna be waiting, there are gonna be bills sitting waiting for
Okay.
receipt of drawdown number 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? And then with each drawdown, there's again payment requisitions to whatever vendors, right? We're paying the newspaper back, or we're reimbursing the town of Griswold for the, or the holiday bean, I see your point before you would ask about the newspaper ad. I did not pay for that, Paul paid for that.
Okay,
I was able to pay
great.
for that. But just to be clear, and I wasn't sure at first, but you were,
right, that I was afraid that we somehow
yeah, no.
Okay.
no.
crossed wires on that, okay, good,
When the request for release of funds went in, the housing authority paid for the village bulletin ad, but they sent it to me because I need the proof.
sure,
So it was Paul's credit card number and my email address or something like that. But,
okay,
that's your response there. But, in other future, you'll have like positions.
I just want to come, once we get started, it sounds like a lot, and really is, but once we get the first 1 or 2 payroll, payments, it'll run real smooth.
it'll be fine,
And we know what kind of the rules, Don knows what the rules are better than I do, and we'll certainly be there. But what I want to do is achieve is when we get it, you get the requisition, you want the checks cut out, because already we're holding a contract probably 2 months before you get the first payment.
mhm,
Everybody's better.
There's no down money on these projects for the contractor, so, there's, it's paid, work paid, complete to date, less 5% for retainage, that's held.
right,
It's a standard. And then, until completion, so.
And all eyes will be on Griswold because this is a big project for a small housing authority.
mhm,
And plus we have the other project, as you know,
That's right, wait.
could be right on the heel. So all eyes are gonna be on Griswold that small housing authorities can actually do the work.
good,
I think we're ready.
it's excellent that we got it here, yeah,
I'm getting tested, we're getting tested, and we're gonna do all right.
good, all right,
And I have my friends at housing that are gonna have people here weekly to monitor everything, so.
nice, okay. Good, anything else? Can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the certified resolution for the town of Griswold to enter into the small cities grant for the college manor in the amount not to exceed $2 million and to sign the corresponding documents.
I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion or questions? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Any, thank you, gentlemen, thank you very much.
You'll be seeing us more often.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. All right, so maybe tomorrow we can
All right.
talk about getting that, okay. Sounds good.
Thank you, Todd.
Any other business that may properly come before the board?
I got one. I'd like to make a motion to bring up for discussion, the East Coast Car Show. Just so we can go over the paperwork that we have.
Do we have a second?
No second it.
All in favor?
Right.
Motion carries.
So we did get a $1 million certificate of insurance with Griswold named Town of Griswold named as an additional insured, which is what we requested. We have the date of this Saturday, 2 to 6 p.m. We have a signed document from the gas station, Valero gas station, acknowledging that they're okay with the closure of that road. And we also have one from Joshua Burkhart for the financial institution that's on Business Parkway also. And then we have a map of their flow of traffic. They're gonna bring cars in from Edmond Road and they're gonna exit onto 138. That's their traffic flow, which I think eliminates what you were talking about with traffic, Dave, on the local road. And they're gonna encourage them to take a right and go to the light on 138 when they pull out, so they don't have to cross traffic. So I think that's a good plan.
Okay,
So I think we have everything that we requested from them.
did that go to Eric? Copies
It'll
of
go to
that?
Eric tomorrow. I'll
Okay.
send him that. I'll bring it down to him.
Any questions? No, okay, great. Thank you for doing all of that. That'll be a fun show. Okay, any other business that may properly come before the board? Okay, public forum. Public forum? Jennifer?
Jennifer Gothier, 70 Brown Avenue, just making sure that you received the 2 pieces of correspondence from the attorney about the registrar payment policy.
We did. Thank you.
Thank you for putting on the record. And for the record, can you tell me if it is going to be rescinded as the attorney requested?
We have already established the policy, so
Is it going to be rescinded?
we've already established the policy. Is there any other public forum?
Wow.
Dave,
Dave Buke, this is Manuel. In regards to the East Coast Auto Show, I thought it was running earlier, but these hours are fine. My only concern is if things get out of hand and they start doing burnouts and start racing through the neighborhood, do we have a point of contact that can be reached to try and rein them in? Or are we on our own?
Those representatives you mean from East Coast?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can get a contact number. I can give it to Dana. I'll have it. If we get a complaint.
sure, that sounds good.
I know our state troopers are.
They are gonna discourage it immensely. People have already made mention and they said absolutely not.
Oh,
Any other public forum? Any other public forum? Number 9. Get a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. We are adjourned at 6:26.
Can you tell me who the town attorney is? Is it Swissman, Shapiro, whoever it is?
Just a minute, I'll turn this on here.